Join us now as 5 News brings you the President's arrival and the official dedication of the Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Secretary Slater, for your support of this project and your terrific work. Thank you, Administrator Garvey, Senator Hutchison, Congressman Hutchison, Senator-elect Blanche Lambert Lincoln. Now, up here in Northwest Arkansas, from my point of view, she's got the best of all worlds. She's a Democrat with a Republican last name. I want you to get to know her. You'll like her a lot. Congressman Dickey, Congressman Hammerschmidt, Mr. Green, thank you for your marvelous work here. Mr. Bowler, thank you for bringing American Eagle here. I want to thank the Springdale Band and the Fayetteville Choir. I thought they both did a superb job. You know, I got all these notes, but I don't really want to use them today. I was flying home today, and I have to begin by bringing you greetings from 2 people who were with me this morning who, for different reasons, wanted to come and couldn't. One is the First Lady, Hillary, who wanted me to tell her friends in Northwest Arkansas hello and to say she wished she could be here. And the other is Senator Bumpers, who has a sinus condition and was told by his doctor not to get on the airplane, although I told him I thought it was a pretty nice plane I was trying to bring him down here in, and that we were trying to demonstrate that Northwest Arkansas had a world-class airport. But he asked to be remembered to you. I want to thank my good friend, former Chief of Staff and our envoy to Latin America, Mike McClarty, for being here, and all of you out here. I've been looking out in this crowd at so many people I've known for 25 years, many more. I've been sort of reliving the last 25 years. I think I should begin by saying that in every project like this, there are always a lot of people who work on it. Rodney mentioned that many years ago, Senator Fulbright, who was my mentor, had the idea of there ought to be an airport here. I know how long Congressman Hammerschmidt has worked on this. This project started in the planning stage under the Bush administration, and we completed it. We had bipartisan support, and as Senator Hutchison said, invoking our friend Senator McCain, we had bipartisan opposition to it as well. And I have found that there is, in any project like this, a certain squeaky wheel factor, you know? There are people that just bother you so much that even if you didn't want to do it, you'd go on and do it anyway. And I would like to play a certain special tribute to the people who were particularly squeaky wheels to me, starting with Alice Walton, who wore me out. Uvalde and Carol Lindsay, who guilt-peddled me about every campaign that ever worked for me in. And Dale Bumpers, who made me relive every favor he'd ever done for me for 20 years. Now, there were others as well, but I want to especially thank them. I want to say to all of you, I'm delighted to see Helen Walton here and the members of the Walton family. I, too, wish Sam were here to see this day. I thank J.B. Hunt, who talked to me about this airport. George Billingsley once said, you remember, I gave you the first contribution you ever got in Benton County. Now build that airport. I have a lot of stories about this airport. I want you to understand how high public policy is made in Washington. And we're all laughing about this, but the truth is this is a good thing, and it needed to be done. You know, when I was a boy growing up in Arkansas, Tim talked about how we were all raised to be to believe you could build a wall around Arkansas. We thought in the beginning, for a long time, that roads would be our salvation. 42 years ago, President Eisenhower signed the Federal Aid Highway Act into law, a bill sponsored by the Vice President's father, Albert Gore Sr., in the United States Senate. And it did a lot of good for America and a lot of good for Arkansas. And a lot of trucking companies in this state did a lot of good with it. And a lot of poultry companies like Tyson's and others made the most of those roads. And then we began to see that air traffic was important as well. And Secretary Slater talked a lot about that. And I got tickled when Senator Hutchinson was talking about transporting apples from Hiawassee by railroad in the 20s. I thought to myself, I wonder if I'm the first president who's ever known how to get to Hiawassee. But I got to thinking about that and how now we moved from interstates to highways. And the people, all these people I've mentioned today, Senator Hutchinson, Senator Bumpers, Senator Pryor, certainly Congressman Hammerschmidt, and Congressman Hutchinson now, and Secretary Slater, and before him Secretary Pena, and all the people in Northwest Arkansas and their supporters understand today if you can't fly, you can't compete, but if you can fly, you can soar to new heights. Today, in a sentence, at long last, Northwest Arkansas can fly. And this means a lot to me. When I was landing here, I called all my Secret Service detail leaders together. I said, I want you guys to look out the window. This is where I started my political career. I've been on every one of these roads. And we were sitting here, and Congressman Hammerschmidt reached over and he said, you know, your career, the career that led you to the presidency, really started 24 years ago last Tuesday. What he didn't say was, comma, when I beat you like a drum up here for Congress. But I learned a lot in that race. And ever since, driving in all the little towns and hamlets in this area, then as governor flying in and out of Northwest Arkansas and all the airports that were up here, I have known for a long time that this could bring opportunity and empowerment, access to markets, a boon to tourism. All of this will happen. And what I'd like to ask all of you to think about is to think of this airport. It's not just going from here to Chicago, but from here to tomorrow. I am glad to tell you that the FAA will release today a $5 million letter of intent for continued development of this airport. I am glad to say that we have not abandoned our bipartisan commitment, we Arkansans, to other kinds of transportation. When the Congress passed with the vote of every member of Congress here present, and I signed the Transportation Equity Act this year, it will mean $100 million more a year over the next 6 years to the state of Arkansas alone. And it too will do a lot of good to take us to the future. We are committed also to modernizing the air traffic system. Our air traffic control system, with the new investments we're making in aviation service and infrastructure, will now be able to better handle the, listen to this, the 50% increase in global air travel we expect in just the next 7 years. Our policies has helped our airlines and aerospace industries return to profitability. Now we're finalizing new means to promote more competition and lower fares at home. We've signed more than 60 agreements to expand air service with other nations, opening skies above as we open markets below. We're also trying to do more to make sure those skies are safe and secure. Under the Vice President's leadership, with the joint efforts of the FAA and NASA and the airline industry, we're working to convert our air traffic control system to satellite technology, to change the way we inspect older aircraft, and most important over the long run, to combat terrorism with new equipment, new agents, new methods. In the world of the future, we'll need great airports. We'll need wonderful airplanes. We'll need well-trained pilots and people to maintain those airplanes. Our prosperity more and more will depend upon keeping the world's skies safe, secure, and open. I got to mention one other personal thing. I saw Lieutenant Governor Rockefeller here, and he probably has to hide it around election time, but when we were younger men, we studied in Oxford, England together, when people typically took a boat. Now, people our age then look at me when I tell them I took 6 days to get from here to England, and they think I need my head examined. We are moving around very fast now. And the last thing I'd like to ask you to think about is where we are going and how we're going to get there. We'll have better roads, we'll have better airports, we'll have safer air travel. But to me, as I have seen all the people before me speak, the people that really did the work, all I had to do as president was to make sure my budget office didn't kill these requests, and to make sure everybody I knew that I was personally supportive of this. But the members of Congress and the others here present, the citizens, they did all the work. And all of you who worked on this, I saw the leaders stand up when their names were called. To me, this symbolizes America at its best. People working on a common objective, across party lines, putting people first, thinking about the future. It's a symbol of what I have tried to do in the 6 years I have been in Washington. And I learned most of what I know driving around on these back roads.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. We are in Heifel. I am Herr Edson. We are at America's newest airport, the Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport, dedicated today by President Bill Clinton.
I'm Guy Westmoreland. Nice to have you with us for the next half hour. We're going to take a look at this airport, how it got here, where it's going, what it means to the folks in this area, Burr. And you know, for a while, it really didn't look like it would ever happen here.
It really didn't. It was supposed to start 1950, and it didn't get off the ground.
That's absolutely right. The history of this airport really does date back to the 50s. The late Senator J. William Fulbright pushed for an airport in Northwest Arkansas, but it never happened. Then during the 70s, it was actually put to a vote of the people in Northwest Arkansas, but they voted it down. But some heavyweights, Mr. Sam Walton, to name just one of many, pushed for this airport, and by 1992, the voters had changed their minds, and the airport passed by a resounding 74% margin. Construction on the airport began in July of 1995. Dig this, 4 million cubic yards of dirt had to be moved, 83,000 feet of drainage pipe was installed for the runway, taxiway, and aircraft parking apron, and that doesn't even include the terminal building, the entry roadway, and the 1,900 space parking lot. A costly project, right? Well, in the beginning, some estimates had this place costing as much as $255 million. That was cut down to $144 million. And just this week, numbers cruncher Uvalde Lindsay told me the final price tag could be as low as $109 million. But what would an airport be without airplanes? In May, the Regional Airport Authority and American Eagle Airlines signed an agreement for the airline to relocate its service to Northwest Arkansas. And just yesterday, the airport finalized an agreement with TWA Express. Their planes will begin flying in and out of here in January. But it all became real this past Sunday when the first commercial jet flight landed on the new runway of the Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport. The flight from Chicago was the first regularly scheduled jet service ever to an airport in this part of Arkansas. And those flights will continue to be a regular part of Northwest Arkansas now, Burr, for years and years and years to come. You know, for a lot of people, it not only became real when that first flight landed last Sunday, first commercial flight, it became very real for thousands and thousands of people who turned out today for this official dedication this afternoon.
Yeah, I think it was just absolutely spectacular. Air Force One coming in at a slow speed. You almost think the thing is going to crash. It can't possibly keep itself up. But it landed. They played hail to the chief. and the president came out and greeted the crowd. And in the crowd was Malka Doherty, and she's joining us now live to tell us about it. Malka, your feelings on today?
First of all, it was amazing when Air Force One did pull in. It was my first time ever seeing it. I thought it was incredible. Everyone in the crowd did. There were hundreds of school children there, too. They were all really excited about it. And, of course, when the president walked out of the plane, the crowd went wild. Everyone was really happy to see him. He got a really warm reception. And I imagine he felt very good about being back home with the home folks. You're right, and I think he also felt really good about getting a good reception. This was the president's first visit to Arkansas after he admitted to the world, essentially, that he had had that affair with Monica Lewinsky. He had a very warm reception here. Only a few people in the crowd were really upset about that. They told me most people who came out here they didn't care about that. They were just happy to see the president and happy that he was here in Arkansas. And happy to see a new airport. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, Barry, you know, there'd been talk about this airport was for the big companies of Northwest Arkansas, the J.B. Hunts, the Walmarts, the Tysons. But this really will open up air traffic to the general public, the person who wants to fly nonstop to Chicago, for example. They won't have to go through Dallas now. Well, I think what the president said, one of his more memorable lines was, this airport is not to just get you from here to Chicago. It's for the region to get from here to tomorrow. That's right. And that was really one of the best lines I thought he had. Any other lines that you can remember, Malka? Well, I can't really think of any off the top of my head, but a lot of people, Transportation Secretary Rodney Slater said a lot of things about the airport being kind of the link to the world, and a lot of people had some great things to say today. Obviously, a great event. Okay, well, when we come back, we are going to take a look at some of not only the history, which we've just seen, but the importance of this airport and what it'll mean for other airports in the area, particularly Fort Smith and Fayetteville, Straightfield. That's when our special continues. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You built this airport together. Take it into the future together. Thank you, and God bless you all.
You watched it grow from trees to tarmac. Now watch as Air Force One lands at America's newest airport. Join us now as 5 News brings you the President's arrival and the official dedication of the Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport.
Sponsored by McDonald's, the Bank of Fayetteville, Collier's Drug Stores, and Karate Foot Clinic.
Welcome back. We are at America's newest airport, the Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport in Haifa, and we have an unscheduled guest with us tonight, a very special guest.
We do indeed. Desiree.
Desiree Wilson. Mm-hmm. And Desiree, what did you do today that is the reason that you're sitting here?
Well, I got to go see the Air Force One, and I got real kind of up close to the Air Force One, and I got to shake the president's hand.
And then you handed him something. What did you hand him?
I handed him my report card.
Your report card from school?
Yeah.
And does he have it now?
Yeah, he has it on Air Force One right now.
Wow. And why did you hand him your report card? Did you get all straight A's?
Well, no, but I still thought it would be neat so I could have something for him to sign and get back.
Well, Desiree, thank you very much. I hope he mails it back to you.
And the president gave her those flowers.
And with the guts that you have for doing that, I'm sure you should get straight A's. So I'm telling your teacher, all straight A's from now on. Thanks, Desiree.
Oh, and...
Okay, guys.
Thank you, Desiree. Well, back to the airport that we are sitting in tonight, the beautiful facility. And you know, Bert, when you come to the airport, it's easy to notice some of the people who serve you, the pilots, the flight attendants, those sorts of folks. But there are also a lot of other people behind the scenes who play important roles in keeping you safe and happy.
Yeah, and Fred Heddle has that report on the people who will be working at the Northwest Arkansas Airport.
It's close to midnight. It's raining. Almost everybody at the airport has gone home, but for the maintenance men, their work has just begun.
We open up panels, we get inside different areas, we change filters.
Tire maintenance, doing brake checks, jacking the aircraft, whatever it takes.
They're members of the Ozark Aircraft Systems. They check it all: smoke detectors, the air conditioner, the landing gear, and even the crucial computer system in the cockpit.
We can go in here and clear it, but we're not going to clear it. sees all the problems, and it'll, when a fault occurs, the CMC will pick it up.
Just a complete, thorough check of all of the aircraft systems.
The workers work all night. They take pride in their job. They have to. The plane they're checking cannot leave the airport until they say it can.
We'll release the aircraft in the morning, put the aircraft on the gate, and away they go.
But before you can actually get on your plane, you first have to pay a visit to the customer service agent.
Are you traveling to Dallas today?
Their roles are almost limitless. The agents hand out tickets, check flight schedules, and even deal with baggage if they have to.
Well, yeah, no problem.
And speaking of baggage, they have a crew for that, too. Heather Huffman and the station agents load the luggage.
Some of the bags are pretty heavy. They overstuff them, so when you travel, try and travel light.
Heather says she loves her job, but she admits the cold weather has made it more challenging.
Your hands, they get cold. You can't do anything with your hands because they're so cold. If you can wear gloves, but those sometimes get in the way, so you just pretty much try and run around and you can stay warm that way.
And then there's making the airport look good. Terry Nichols does that. You might think it's a boring job, but Terry says it's actually the opposite.
Yeah, it's almost too much for one person, but keeps you busy and makes the day go by fast.
And last but not least, the tour of the airport would not be complete without visiting the most important room in the building. That, of course, is the restaurant.
Plenty of juices and milk, fresh fruits, chips. We can fix you a Frito chili pie, and we got wonderful all beef Oscar wieners.
Hey, you can't beat that. In Heifel, Fred Heddle, 5 News.
This is still the first week of operation for America's newest airport, Burr. There's a lot of work still going on here in the terminal and in other parts of the airport.
Yeah, it really is work in progress, and it'll be like that for a number of months to come. But the Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport is already getting really rave reviews from everyone who's using the airport.
Wonderful. I've been out here a couple of times. I think it's fantastic. This is exactly what we needed here in Northwest Arkansas, and I love it.
Well, it's just really beautiful. I tell you, it looks to me like you're getting ready for us instead of the president, with balloons and flowers everywhere.
It's real nice. It's real nice. It's being built, being, as new, it looks great. I haven't been to the other airport yet, so as far as I see, it looks real nice. I mean, it's convenient for everybody to come in here and fly in and fly out.
Love it. I fly a lot. And this is a lot much closer to home, and we go to the East Coast a lot, so getting with one stop in Chicago is going to help out a lot. Very nice.
Well, it's a beautiful place, is all I can tell, but it is a little far out off the beaten path.
It is a little far out off the beaten path. Hopefully there will be a road constructed to this airport. We're going to talk a little bit about that a little later.
That's right. We'll get to that and a few other things surrounding America's newest airport, the Clinton dedication. Our special. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do we have that shot?
Welcome back to America's newest airport, the Clinton dedication. Burr, this new Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport is bringing added convenience to travelers in Northwest Arkansas. But to take advantage of it, you got to know how to get here.
You got to find it, in other words. Kimberly Hubbard reports on the new airport, which is located in a tiny rural town of Heifel.
Passengers are setting off on an incredible journey as planes soar above the new Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport. But the real journey may be on the ground. Passengers are having a hard time finding the big airport located in the small town of Heifel. Do you know how to get to the airport?
I'll be honest with you, I don't have a clue how to get there. I've got to fly out of that airport, but I don't know where it is, I'm afraid.
There are two main roads that will get you there. From the Fayetteville area, you can take Highway 264, and coming from Bentonville, you can go Highway 12 going south. The roads you'll use to travel have been the subject of much criticism. Heifel's highways are narrow, two-lane roads.
Is it inhibiting? It certainly is. Will we settle for that? Absolutely not.
But the Airport Authority and the Highway Department are making improvements. Within the last few months, Highway 264, which is the south entrance to the airport, has been widened and reconstructed to accommodate the additional traffic we can expect to see here from now on.
And it's a whole lot different today than it was 2 months ago. It's much easier to get through there.
And in time, the roads will likely become even more convenient.
And we will build from here to here.
Lindsay says a 412 bypass is in the works, and a new road located to the north of the airport is also being constructed. But for now, those who have worked on this project for years are just enjoying the excitement of seeing the first planes take off.
So you now know how to find the new airport, which, by the way, its name is, as we have said, Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport. That's kind of a mouthful.
That's a big mouthful, and some people may not actually be calling it that.
All right.
Well, it's a mouthful, as you said. We asked some first-week travelers what they think the name of this place should be.
Oh, that's a good question. Wait, ask Kirk, and I have to think about it.
Me, I honestly don't know. I don't even know what town it's in. What town is the airport in? Highfield. Highfield? Well, I just think it should be the Highfield Airport then.
I saw on the news last night where it was extra nice airport, so I like that for the XNA designation.
I like the Northwest Arkansas Regional because it's not Bentonville, it's not Fayetteville. I mean, it is the area.
Well, we apologize for that video. I have a secret, I have to tell you. Those of us in the Northwest Arkansas studios, we call it Xena.
Xena?
Yeah, the designation, of course, is XNA.
And that is...
Steve Voorhees loves the TV show Xena Warrior Princess, so now we're calling it Xena.
But we are having a little technical problem with what's called a dirty head. We're going to clean that, and we're going to be back with more on this America's newest airport.
From Xena.
Right after this, from Xena, the Warrior Princess.
The Warrior Princess Airport.
Well, welcome back to America's newest airport, the Clinton dedication. And now that Arkansas does have a brand new airport, what is it going to mean to the other two airports in our area?
That's a good question, Burr. And 5 News reporter Beth Doremus is taking a look at Fayetteville's Drake Field and the Fort Smith Regional Airport as they gear up for competition.
People show their support for Drake Field at this recent open house, but there was still a lot of excitement in the air for its competitor, the brand new Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport.
I think the newness, the excitement of it, and the direct jet service that they'll be having to Chicago is a very big draw.
2 airlines have already pulled out of Drake Field for the new airport. American was the first to leave, and most recently TWA announced it was moving too. And while some people think this could mean the beginning of the end for Drake Field doesn't see it that way.
People support Drake Field, and Drake Field is convenient to the flying public. I think the travel agents are telling that to their customer. I wish the new airport well, but we're going to continue to fly people out of Drake Field.
And Bob Johnson of the Fort Smith Airport isn't worried at all.
I think it's going to be very positive for us.
Over 100,000 people a year fly out of the Fort Smith Airport. The airport hopes to add some airlines and get regional jet service within the next 18 months. And despite a new airport in business, Johnson is confident the Fort Smith Airport will continue to grow. Johnson says most people who use the Fort Smith Airport do so out of convenience. He doesn't see a lot of people from this area driving up to Fayetteville and then another 30 minutes on a 2-lane highway just to get to the new airport. Of course, with the new Highway 71 soon to open, all 3 airports will soon be easier to get to for everyone. And while there's been reports of fighting among the airports, Johnson believes with a little cooperation, all 3 can grow and prosper.
We're all stronger if we team together and work together.
In Fort Smith, I'm Beth Doremus, 5 News.
Well, this new airport will undoubtedly have a lasting effect on those airports as well as the smaller rural areas around here like Cave Springs, for example. But are the people who live in that town all that happy about the inevitable change?
Well, they're going to have to be, but what are they doing to prepare for it? We really don't know. April Adams went out and talked with some local business owners in this area and also some of the people who live around here to find their perspective.
It's only been open a week, but the change has been coming on for a long time now. Herman McGarr has run this tire shop in Cave Springs for 30 years, but he says this year has already been his busiest.
It started back in January, probably February, and I've been busy ever since.
McGarr says he's happy to see the new airport and is looking forward to reaping some of its benefits.
Yeah, there was a guy here just yesterday from the airport, said he had 100 rental cars out there and he wanted us to do his tar work.
The story
story is the same across the street at Dot's Cafe.
You want ice cream on here?
Owners here say it's already gotten so busy, they're expanding their restaurant into the building next door.
Hi.
And customers continue to file into the Total Convenience store down the street. With business this good, who could find time to complain?
There's too much going on for me.
For some locals, more money just doesn't necessarily translate into more happiness.
There's a lot more traffic. A lot more strangers coming in town.
It's changed this country. We was in the country, but we're not now.
But it seems change is inevitable, with more and more airport traffic coming in and out of Cave Springs every day. Can you imagine what the face of this rural area will look like 5 to 10 years from now?
Oh, I don't know. It's going to be a lot different. It's going to change. Now, that airport's definitely going to change things around here.
The question is, for better or for worse? I guess that depends on who you're talking to. In Cave Springs, April Adams, 5 News.
Well, the people of Cave Springs, Heifel, and all over the area are going to have to get used to traffic, Guy.
They are indeed, and people have talked about the traffic situation coming out here on the 2-lane road after you leave the busy highway at 71. That's something that may be addressed in the future. You know, an extra lane here and there wouldn't hurt.
We're talking about a toll road, but the toll road's in the future. Today was today. It was a beautiful day. The president came in. Air Force One landed. Thousands of people showed up, much more than they expected. They did have some problems because of that.
They had some shuttle problems getting people back from the area where the event took place back to the terminal and their cars. But that was an unusual situation. That's not something that's going to happen out here every day. It is a gorgeous facility. It will make traveling much easier for folks in this area, especially if you're heading off towards Chicago and a connecting flight from Chicago. It will be great.
One thing you've got to remember, the new Highway 71 is going to be opened. We just had 412 open.
That's right.
The transportation needs of this area are being met today.
Absolutely.
Hey, this was fun. America's newest airport, the Clinton dedication. Thanks, guys, for seeing it.
Thanks for being here, folks. Good night.
We have followed this story with you from idea to reality. And now we thank you for joining us for this special live coverage of President Clinton's dedication of the Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport. This has been a presentation of 5 News, where local news comes first.
Sponsored by McDonald's, the Bank of Fayetteville, Collier's Drug Stores, and Karate Foot Clinic.